So, I was watching an episode of The Office, and it was the episode of the fire where Ryan, the temp, started the fire in the office by wrongly cooking a cheesy pita bread, and he basically started a fire. So you had this big fire in the office. And Michael, if you don't know the show, I highly recommend it. It's quite funny. I love it. It's kind of like the show that me and my fiance really love to watch together. Michael Scott is the boss. He's very narcissistic, selfish. However, he does care about others to a certain extent. But as soon as he knew that there was a fire, he ran out of the building before all the women did. So he was the first one out. And similar to the whole Seinfeld thing, the one Seinfeld episode where there was a fire in the apartment and George Costanza ran out of the apartment first. So Michael ran out first, and he basically was saying, he was like, yeah, I know, women and children first, but if I were to abide by that, I would have a lawsuit on my hands because I wouldn't be treating the women equally. It's basically his way out of getting shit for running out of the building first. But it made me think about feminism and the existentialist concept of inauthenticity or bad faith. Because feminism, I think there are kind of two kinds of feminism. There's the feminism that says that women should have equal rights as men, and there's also a feminism which doesn't claim to be this way but is this way, that says that kind of claims that women should be almost higher than men. So you can see this kind of little double entendre, this little double thing, where they want to be equal as men. However, they still kind of want to be treated in sort of a chivalrous way. Women first. You open the door for a woman, saying, "You first, my lady." Stuff like that. So, I think with feminism and with women, I'm not talking about the feminism that just wants to be equal to men, but I think that it would not be too far from the truth to say that women want to be equal, but they also want to, in a way, to be higher. They want to be equal to men, however, they also will want the chivalrous ways to be applied as well. Opening the door for a woman, being polite to women, more polite than you would to a man. So it's kind of a double standard, and that's kind of existentialist concept of bad faith or inauthenticity, but it's not really bad faith because the state of women is to be both of those things. So it's kind of like Sartre's being for others and being for oneself thing, where if you are being oneself only, then you're in a state of bad faith. However, if you're in a state of being for others only, then you're also in a state of bad faith. So women who want equality but also want these chivalrous things to be applied today are not in a state of bad faith because they are owning their existence. One who owns up to his existence, owns his own existence itself, is not in a state of bad faith. However, they are authentic to themselves. So, as much as I hate to say it, the feminists who want to be above men, however, who also want to be equal, are right and correct and authentic to themselves. So, feminism is kind of, and Simone de Beauvoir has some feminist writings. She has a book called The Second Sex, which I have yet to read. I think that would be probably good to read. Sounds like some great writing that I would like to read. The only book by de Beauvoir I've read is The Ethics of Ambiguity. So I think I should probably read that. I would also love to read Kristeva and Irigaray. However, those two are more post-structuralist, structuralist to post-structuralist writers. But I kind of was thinking about that, how a way of thinking about not being in bad faith. If you don't want to be in bad faith, you have to own up to your existence entirely. Thus, it's kind of like, if you want to apply this to African American state, Corey Anton had a good way of looking at this before. Don't treat me that way, but also don't treat me like I'm black, but don't forget that I'm black. So that's one really good way of looking at that, is that there's kind of like a paradox of your existence. However, in that paradox, you are owning up to yourself. Same with the being for others, being for self thing. If you are just being for others, you are blending in with what Heidegger would call the they. You don't have a unique individualistic existence at all. You are blended in with everybody else. However, if you are just being for self, you are not taking any account to the they at all. You are just yourself by yourself. So if you're either being for self or being for others, you are in a state of bad faith because you are not entirely owning up to your existence. Sartre says that other is prior to self, but if you entirely deny your unique self, then that is also a state of bad faith. So, kind of interesting to think about that feminist stance, because the feminists who want equality as men, however, want this chivalrous things to still be applied. That seems like it seems nonsensical. However, it seems sensical when you look at it in a bad faith, existentialist sort of way. Because the feminists who think of themselves that way are owning up and recognizing their own existence, that they want equality, or that they desire equality. However, they also want a higher stance in the whole chivalrous thing. So, interesting questions, I think. So I guess the question would be, is it better for them to be that way? Is it better for them to take that high pedestal like feminist stance, or is it better for them to deny the whole chivalrous thing? And I think to deny the chivalrous stance would be to, almost in a way, be in a state of bad faith for them, because they would be denying a part of their existence, which is a need to be treated in a way politely above men. So I don't know, I'm kind of blabbering here, but this is a kind of a neat question to kind of ponder. So let me know what you think below.